Hello friends, welcome back to Ouroboros Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is looking into whether or not you guys will reconcile. And before we get into it, we're going to be looking into how they're remembering you, how they remember the connection, how they remember themselves. So hopefully that will give you insight as to whether or not that is in fact your pile. These messages came through were very specific today, so there may or may not be a message for you here in this video, and that's okay. And as always, especially with no contact readings, I would like to offer a trigger warning. I'm only going to be honest about what it is that I'm seeing in the cards, but that by no way means that this is your message, and please just take what resonates, leave the rest. If there is no message for you, that's okay too, but please don't let a YouTube reading from a stranger ruin your day. So with that being said, I have 3 groups for you guys to choose from today: pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Go ahead and pause this video, take as much time as you need to find the pile that sits right with your energy as well as with your person's, and I will see you in a minute. Hi pile 1. So we are going to be looking into whether or not you and your person are going to be reconciling. And keep in mind that this is based on current energies, and energy is always changing. So nothing that I say is set in stone, and if there is a message in here that bothers you or that you don't like, by all means, you don't have to take the message that comes through as the final say. But of course, this is a no contact reading, so I did want to give a bit of a trigger warning. If you're not ready to hear anything beyond what it is that you would like to hear, then perhaps this isn't the time to watch this video. But how we're going to do it today is we're going to look at how they're remembering the connection, remembering you, remembering themselves within the connection. We'll get into what they're currently feeling about this connection / this separation. We'll also get what their thoughts are on reconciling, as well as what their thoughts are on their next action. But let's go ahead and get into it. So when it comes to how they are remembering your connection, pile 1, we have the mother. And when it comes to how they are remembering you, we have human, and the keyword is consciousness. We also have the hero / heroine, and the light attribute is a passion for a journey of personal empowerment, and the shadow attribute is escapism and a false sense of heroism. And we have the bat. And when it comes to how they are remembering themselves, we have wild dog, and the keyword is collaborate. We also have seeker. The light attribute is thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are, and the shadow attribute is inability to commit to a path once found. And we have bear. Okay. So let's go ahead and first start with how they are remembering this connection. With the mother energy here, this is telling me that there was a time in which this connection was something that really brought them a great deal of joy. It was something that really excited them, had a great deal of potential, and was also really full of love and nurturance. But one thing that comes through with this mother energy is the fact that mothers obviously bring about growth, but there comes a certain time where perhaps they potentially stifle growth as well. And I kind of get the feeling that they're remembering this connection as one that was really, really nurturing, but one where perhaps one or both of you stopped growing in it for whatever reason. Yeah, it feels like there's a loss here for something that was really, really wonderful, until suddenly it was not. And I get the feeling with how they're remembering you. They're remembering you as somebody who was very much in their emotions, was a very emotional person, was perhaps made mistakes in this connection, although that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. But they're seeing you in all of your humanness, in the messy aspects of yourself, as well as in the beautiful aspects of yourself. And they're remembering you as somebody who was very aware, somebody who was very awake in this connection, especially when we have the bear over here indicating that they are remembering themselves as somebody who perhaps slept, was asleep to this connection, or was unwilling to wake up, unwilling to prepare for what was to come, unwilling to put in the effort because they were just so tired. I think it's interesting too that with all of these cards here, each image is an image of either an animal or a person looking or walking away from this person, from you. And what this is telling me is I think they're realizing, or they're understanding, that they turned their back to you. Whereas this human card is facing your person. And then we have like these cards here have pictures of people and animals looking in every different direction, essentially. So we have human looking at this person, looking at your person, and then we have the hero/heroine looking at the goal. And there's two people here wanting to reach the top. And then we have the bat who is looking straight forward. And what this is telling me is that they're remembering you as somebody who perhaps was really, really, really willing to put in the work when it came to this connection, but who was also unable to see that perhaps this connection was harming them and it was time to sever this connection. It seems like perhaps you were, from their perspective, clinging on to something that was no longer serving you. And it took you a moment to kind of gain back your personal power. And perhaps personal power in the sense of recognizing that perhaps you shouldn't be putting in the effort for this connection, but rather be putting in the effort for yourself, because this person seems to have turned their back. And they're remembering themselves as somebody who perhaps wasn't the most loyal. And I don't necessarily mean it in the sense of somebody who was betraying you with a third party or anything like that. It doesn't have to be the case. I sense it more of somebody who did not want to take responsibility in this connection, who did not actually want perhaps a committed relationship, did not necessarily want to be a part of the ebbs and flows of relationships. I get the feeling that they were here in this connection for the good times, and were unwilling to participate in sitting with you during the bad times, or unwilling to work with you when things were getting a little bit rocky, as is natural in any connection with anyone. It's never going to just be positive. But this person seems as though they were very flighty, and although they felt as though this connection was something that had the possibility of being something really, really, really beautiful, their inability to commit kind of caused this connection to dissipate, to just disappear. So if that resonates with you, let's go ahead and look into what their current feelings are. How is pile one's person currently feeling about pile one, about their situation? Okay, we have the Eight of Swords. We have the Eight of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. Okay, why is the Eight of Swords here? Okay, so we have the Five of Swords and Justice. Why is the Three of Pentacles here? We have the Five of Pentacles and the Star. Why is the Ten of Wands here? We have the Nine of Swords and the Two of Cups. And why is the Nine of Wands here? we have the Nine of Cups. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, so how is this person currently feeling about you and the situation at hand? I get the feeling as though they feel like they are somewhat powerless in making things right and bringing this connection back into balance. I get the feeling that they're looking at themselves as somebody who behaved very selfishly or as somebody who did irreparable damage. And there's no way in their mind that they could come forward in a way in which would be believable, in a way in which would be deemed trustworthy. And so even though they have a desire, I sense, we'll get more into it as we go, but with Justice here, there is a recognition of there being an imbalance. Even though they're recognizing that there is an imbalance in this connection, there's been an injustice in this connection, they don't know how they could go about fixing it. They feel very much stuck right now, is what I would say when it comes to the situation at hand, when it comes to not talking to you, when it comes to being separated. I also see with the Star and the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles that they are very much feeling the loss of you. They're very much feeling the consequences of their actions, and they're wishing things could be different. They're wishing things could be different, but it feels almost like a hopeless kind of energy. This person doesn't seem to be very in a very good place currently. There's a lot of regret here, a lot of remorse. I get the feeling like this separation, this guilt, whatever it is that they're holding on to, this remorse is something that has become very heavy for them to hold. It's very burdensome for them to think of having turned their back on you, of thinking of the responsibilities that they kind of ran away from, thinking of how they treated you is something that's very burdensome, and they would very much like to release it. They would like to let go of this burden. They don't want to feel this way anymore. But I get the feeling with the Nine of Swords and the Two of Cups here that there is an energy of somebody who, even though they desperately want to let this go, letting this go would mean letting go of something that was really, really good. And so they're currently clinging to this like guilty feeling, or clinging to the burden of this, simply because they're worried that that's all that there is left for this connection. And they still want to be kind of connected in some sort of way to you. They're very, it's very icky energy. And with the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Cups, there's this element of like them recognizing, I would say that this person is recognizing that if they don't come forward, there's a very good chance that this connection will never come back together. There's a very good chance that they will never hear from you again. There's a very good chance that they will, in fact, carry this burden of guilt with them for a very long time. And the truth is, there's still a lot of care here. Yeah, let's get some more. Let's get some more cards and see what else comes through. How is pile one's person currently feeling when it comes to their current situation? Okay, we have poised, exchanging gifts. Let's get one more. And we have mending. Okay. So based on these cards alone, poised, mending, and exchanging gifts, what this is telling me is that when it comes to how they're feeling, I think it's interesting that poised would come out right next to the Eight of Swords, because poised is all about being ready for something. And I don't necessarily feel as though this person, based on the message I saw here, feels ready to make a move toward you. And I think it's also really interesting that all of this is coming out just on how it is that they're feeling about you in this connection, because this is telling me that reconciliation is something that is very much on their mind. They very much have this desire to come forward and try to make things right. Try to make an apology of some kind. Bottom of the deck energy is orphaned. This is the same kind of energy as the Five of Pentacles. There's an element of feeling abandoned, and I get the feeling that they feel, one, abandoned because of what they've done. Like they're the reason why they don't feel your energy anymore. They're not in your presence anymore. But also I think there's an acknowledgement here of them having abandoned you, of recognizing it and acknowledging it. But let's go ahead and get into how they feel about reconciling. How does Pile One's person feel about reconciling? Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune, the Two of Pentacles, Strength, the Two of Wands. Okay, why is the Wheel of Fortune here? We have the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Cups. Okay. Why is the Two of Pentacles here? Okay, we have the Page of Cups and the Six of Wands reversed. Why is Strength here? We have the Queen of Cups, and why is the Two of Wands here? We have the Chariot, and then on the back of the deck we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, I'm getting a very clear message here when it comes to how this person is feeling about reconciling, what their thoughts and feelings are on it. It's something that they really, really want. For the Nine of Cups to be clarifying the Wheel of Fortune, this is telling me that they have a very strong desire to reconcile with you. However, the Eight of Swords is coming out again. This is telling me that they don't necessarily feel as though they can actually do this on their own. Like they don't feel as though they have the power to make this right. They feel as though they aren't going to be well received. They feel as though if they were to reach out, they would be rejected. And because of this, right now, they're kind of putting their faith in just fate doing its thing, is what I would say. I sense that like they want to come forward with this Page of Cups. This is a card of apologies, of coming forward and making emotional offers, of saying sorry. But with the Six of Wands being reversed, this is telling me that they're really balancing this idea in their head right now. They're really balancing the feelings that they feel because they want this, but they also feel as though it won't be successful. And so because of this, I sense that they're feeling as though there's a subtlety, a subtleness that they are going to have to, like it almost feels intuitive. With the Strength card and the Queen of Cups, I feel as though they're trusting their intuition on when it would be a right time to reach out. But they definitely don't want to put themselves in a position in which they would be rejected. And so right now it seems more so like an idea, a feeling that they have, rather than anything that's like so overpowering they have no other option but to come forward, is what I would say. But let's go ahead and see what else comes through. How does Pile One's person feel about reconciling? Okay, yep, we have Loyal Heart. And we have community. Yep, that they want reconciliation. Bottom of the deck is clean it up. Yeah, they really, this person is trying to be patient, is holding out hope that the two of you can work on things, the two of you can meet up, the two of you can clean up the damage that has been done. But right now it feels like with loyal heart here, there's an element of patience that they are really feeling the need to listen to. But let's go ahead and see what their next action towards you is going to be. Okay, come on. What is pile one's person's next action? What is their next action going to be toward pile one? Okay. I'm going to take them both. So we have 3 of Cups and the Moon. It's too many. What is pile one's person's next action? We have the Hermit. Okay, we have the 2 of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Why is the 3 of Cups here? Okay, we have the Sun. Why is the Moon here? We have the Page of Pentacles. Why is the Hermit here? We have the 6 of Swords. Why is the 2 of Wands here? The 6 of Wands. And why is the Queen of Cups here? We have the 3 of Wands. And then on the back of the deck, we have the 5 of Cups. Okay, so what is your person's next move going to be? I sense more there's subtle movements here that I'm seeing, like with the 3 of Cups and the Sun, as well as with the 2 of Wands and the 6 of Wands, the Queen of Cups and the 3 of Wands. There's definitely forward movement. There's planning. There's a desire to move forward in this connection and be successful in trying to make things right. However, right now, it seems as though they're still disillusioned and they're slowly coming out of it, but it's not something that they necessarily are capable of doing overnight. It seems like this person really needs a perspective shift with this 5 of Cups being the bottom of the deck energy. It seems like it's something that will come with time, especially with the 6 of Swords coming out underneath the Hermit. The Hermit is all about perspective and introspection, and the 6 of Swords is all about transitioning into a more peaceful type of time period. And I sense that there is a transition happening, a perspective shift that's happening, but this person needs to be alone and needs to reflect more on what it is that they've lost, what it is that they value, as well as what potential there still is before they are going to make a move. But there is, everything in this reading was leaning towards a desire to come forward and reconcile. This person just has to be ready and has to, I get the feeling they understand that they would really have to show up bringing their A game, actually having made changes for this to actually work, for their apology to actually be accepted. Let's see, is there anything that I missed? What's their next move? Okay, we have flexible. All that glitters. And we have Treasure Island. Yeah. And then on the bottom of the deck we have Thinker. Yeah, this person needs more time. more time to reflect, more time to have that perspective shift. This all that glitters kind of energy is indicative of needing to understand that not everything that glitters is gold, essentially. Needing to understand that there might be illusions, perhaps within themselves, of them not remembering themselves accurately, or of perhaps refusing to see the parts of this connection or the parts of themselves that really played a huge part in this connection kind of falling apart. There's definitely more reflection and a perspective shift that needs to happen. But with Flexible and Treasure Island here, this is telling me that this person is making an effort. It might not be an effort in which you see it physically in this 3D world, but behind the scenes, while there is no contact, this person is kind of bending to perhaps not be so stubborn in order to get what it is that they want. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and get you guys some channeled messages. Okay, what does pile one's person want to say to pile one? I promise you. I have so much going on in my life and I'm struggling to juggle it all at once. Okay, we have mountain. Something or someone is standing between us right now. Oh, there was. Okay, and then we have, I know I've acted childishly. I don't know how to approach you. Yes. Okay. Well, pile one, this is what I'm seeing for you guys today. If this reading resonated, I would love to hear about how it did in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to read for you guys today, pile one, and I hope that I'll have the chance to read for you in another video soon. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in my Etsy shop. And please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already so that I will be able to keep reading for you guys. Bye! Hello, pile two. So today's pick a card reading is looking into whether or not the two of you will reconcile. And how I have chosen to do this is we are going to look at how your person is remembering themselves as well as you and this connection. And then you'll know whether or not that's your pile, if it's resonating. If it doesn't resonate, there might be a message for you in a different pile, or there might not be a message here for you today. I wanted to remind you that energy is constantly changing. We always have the potential to kind of shift those energies. So if there's anything that you're hearing that you're not liking, first and foremost, you don't have to take my messages as the only messages out there for you. And please don't let it ruin your day. But also, if something isn't resonating, you can just take what does and leave the rest. And also, if you're not necessarily ready to hear anything other than what it is that you'd like to hear, perhaps right now isn't the time to watch this video. But with that being said, let's go ahead and look into how your person is remembering you and the connection. So when it comes to the connection, they're remembering it as the box. When it comes to how they're remembering you, we have Messiah. The light attribute is serving humanity with humility, and the shadow attribute is exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. We also have Ermine, and the key word is clarity. Let's go ahead and put that there. I think, yep, these two go together, and then these are your person. We also have Stingray and Octopus for how they're remembering you. And then how they are remembering them, we have Cape Petrel, and the key word is filter. We have Buffalo, and Queen. And the light attributes are radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. And the shadow attributes are becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling, and demanding. Okay, so the first thing I would say is that it kind of feels like your person is looking back at this connection as one that was kind of mutually agreed upon to come to an ending, is kind of the energy that I'm getting. That doesn't have to be the case, but there is a pretty strong message here for some of you that's what's coming through. And either way, regardless of who ended what, this person is looking back on this connection as something that was limiting, something that was perhaps trying to contain them, something that didn't feel free. Perhaps at one point it did, at one point it really served them, but at this point it feels more so like they felt like they were kind of trapped, or like they couldn't move forward, or they couldn't think outside of the box, that like this connection was very consuming in the sense of perhaps everything on the outside of this connection, other hopes and dreams and things like that, were kind of put on the back burner. And that's how they're remembering it. So that doesn't necessarily have to be true, but it feels like that's how they felt. And I feel like they're looking at you as somebody who is kind of in the process of going through an evolution of some kind. And I think that they saw you in this evolution during the time in which the two of you were speaking, the time in which the two of you were together. But it feels like it was kind of like it was not completed at this point. And it feels like they're viewing you as somebody who may have had a difficult time with boundaries. With the octopus here, this is a creature that is incredibly smart and incredibly wise, knows what it is that it's doing, and yet the octopus very much so lacks boundaries, lacks personal space, things like that. And so they're seeing you as somebody who perhaps in the past, especially with the stingray here, which is all about developing a backbone, that perhaps in the past you didn't necessarily have a backbone. So perhaps you allowed the buffalo to walk all over you, or perhaps you were very much controlling, or had with the Messiah here, had a really strong understanding of how you wanted this connection to go. Especially with the box here, it just feels so confined to a particular belief or a particular thought that's very enclosed, very confining. And I get the feeling that they are remembering you as somebody who was kind of growing into themselves, growing into who it is that you want to be, developing a sense of self, developing a backbone or a sense of self-confidence, and understanding what it is that you want. And in doing so, it feels like they felt an immense amount of pressure to have this connection, or to have themselves behave in a certain sort of way in order to meet your needs or your values. And I get the feeling that this person wasn't necessarily somebody who was going to change themselves. It seems like this person is remembering themselves as somebody who was very grounded, somebody who definitely filtered through to what was essential, rather than perhaps tiny arguments on the side that kind of made things murky. It seems like this person had a really, really strong vision of who they are as well. But it kind of feels like they're remembering themselves as slightly more evolved, or having gone through the evolution that you are currently going through, or were going through when this connection was happening. And it seems like this person was unwilling to change, was unwilling to, and did not see a reason to, felt very secure in themselves is what I'm seeing here. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing for you guys. So if that resonates, let's go ahead and look into how they're currently feeling about you and this no contact situation. Well, that was a terrible shuffle. Okay, how is pile 2's person currently feeling? We have strength. How is pile 2's person currently feeling? We have the 8 of Wands. How are they currently feeling about this situation? The Queen of Swords. How is pile 2's person currently feeling about pile 2 and this no contact? We have the 2 of Wands. Why is strength here? Okay, we have the 3 of Swords. Why is the 8 of Wands here? Okay. We have the 6 of Swords and the 4 of Pentacles. Why is the Queen of Swords here? We have the Chariot, and why is the 2 of Wands here? Okay. We have the Knight of Swords and the 9 of Pentacles. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so how are they currently feeling? So this card really stood out to me when it came out, and I've never really necessarily looked at this particular card in this way before, but I really feel it very strongly now, especially with this 3 of Swords. The imagery that I'm seeing, typically what I see when I look at strength is a woman taming the lion. But here, the image seems more so like the lion is being aggressive toward this person, and the person is choosing not to engage. I get the feeling that this person is currently feeling overwhelmed, is currently feeling somewhat bombarded, is currently feeling somewhat like they are being, like you might possibly be attempting to control them. And that obviously is only going to resonate if there's truth to it. And what I mean by that is either you are, or they've expressed that they feel this, things like that. But there's definitely an energy of feeling overwhelmed, of feeling bombarded, and I see them still viewing themselves as this kind of buffalo person that's being grounded and not being swayed to change who they are or to change their demeanor. And there's sadness here with the 3 of Swords. There's pain here with the 3 of Swords. There's sadness for things not having worked out. But also with the 4 of Pentacles and the 6 of Swords, there's also this element of like feeling pretty set in the decision that they're making to stay guarded, to stay grounded. The 4 of Pentacles can be a card about self-protection or about keeping things close to your heart. And I sense that they're feeling as though forward movement is what's needed right now. Forward movement, perhaps away from this connection for the time being, for the sake of their own mental health. I also feel like, with the box having shown up as well, this 4 of Pentacles could be indicative of the box, because we do have a lot of expansive energy here as well. The 8 of Wands is a very expansive type of energy, and the 6 of Swords is a transitional type of energy, and the Chariot is all about forward motion, and so is the Knight of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. And I feel like this person really wants to break out of that box of feeling as though they have to fit into a certain idea or a certain mold of something. And I feel like there's almost like a coldness or a rigidness about this decision that they've made to kind of like turn the other cheek. I don't see this person necessarily doubting themselves. I see them having made a decision, and the decision is to continue to focus on themselves currently, to focus on the things that bring them peace, with the hope that perhaps this connection can come back to union in the future if it's meant to be. But this person seems to kind of be giving this connection up to the universe and allowing the universe to do with it what is right. But let's keep going. Let's see what else comes through when it comes to how they're currently feeling. Yeah, there's no, we don't have any cup cards here. It seems like this person has kind of closed themselves off emotionally. Like there's pain here, but it seems like they've closed themselves off to the emotions or the sweet feelings they once felt and are trying to move forward. But let's get some clarity. Let's see what else comes through. Is there anything that I've missed when it comes to how Pile 2's person is currently feeling? Yeah, we have, okay, I'm just going to take all of these. We have Observer, Peace, and TikTok. And then on the back of the deck, we have a change in the wind. Yeah, this person with TikTok here, there's an element of like feeling as though right now is not the right time, of allowing things to kind of, this person seems to be in a state of surrender. They've definitely taken a step back from this connection and are observing it from a safe place. They're reflecting. There's reflection going on right now. And in this reflection, they're trying to find a state of peace within themselves. It seems like there may have been some rocky energy between the two of you. And they're trying to kind of step away from tumultuous types of energy or interactions currently. But let's go ahead and look into how they feel about the idea of reconciling. How does Pile 2's person feel about reconciling? What are Pile 2's feelings and Pile 2's person's feelings and thoughts on reconciling? How do they feel about it? It feels like, okay, for so many cards to not come out for that long, it felt very like reserved. So we have the King of Wands, the Moon, the Hanged Man. How do they feel about the idea of reconciling? We have Strength again. Why is the King of Wands here? We have the Ten of Swords. Why is the Moon here? We have the Hierophant. Why is the Hanged Man here? We have the Ace of Pentacles. And why is Strength here? We have the Six of Swords. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Six of Wands. Okay. This person doesn't necessarily seem to have any real interest in reconciling. There might be a desire here with the Moon and the Hierophant for something, for them to come forward to like perhaps right a past wrong, or to perhaps clear the air, bring about clarity about something that perhaps you've been in the dark about. Or perhaps they have a desire for this, a desire to have a better understanding of something that they felt as though was hidden from them. But really, I feel as though they really want to kind of move forward from this, find peace. The Hanged Man and the Ace of Pentacles is giving me this feeling or this energy of surrender again, of recognizing that right now, if they were to come forward and try to reconcile, or if you were to come forward and try to reconcile, it might not be the right time. And it seems as though they really have a desire to kind of surrender to where this connection is destined to be. And if it's destined to come around in the future, then they are open to that. But right now, it seems as though they really want peace. They want peace. And they want to feel, I kind of feel like if this was something where the two of you kind of agreed together that this may not be the best connection for the two of you to put your energy into currently, I feel as though what this Six of Wands is talking about is that they agree with this, and even if it didn't happen that way, even if it was you ended it or they ended it, they want to be successful in the direction in which this connection has headed. They want to be successful in continuing to evolve, moving forward, perhaps removing the pain of not having received what it is that they had hoped for in this connection and wanting to heal from that. I think this person has, this person hurts very deeply and doesn't necessarily acknowledge it entirely. But there's a period of needing to mourn here that I'm seeing with this King of Wands and the Ten of Swords. There's a feeling within them that they want to mourn what was. Like they're putting on a brave face with this Hierophant and the Moon, but really there's this need within them, a calling within them to really search deep within themselves and find what that empty feeling is within themselves and kind of allow it to be and allow it to be seen and be nurtured and mourn the fact that something that was really special to them ended up not working out, is something that's coming through with this King of Wands and the Ten of Swords. So let's keep going. Let's see if there's anything that I missed. How is Pile 2's person feeling about reconciling? What are their thoughts and feelings on the idea of reconciling? Yeah, we have here and now, building blocks, and exchanging gifts. And then bottom of the deck energy is yen. Yeah, when it comes to their thoughts and feelings on reconciling, I would say that they might not necessarily really be in a place in which they're actually thinking about that. It seems like they're really working, or they're realizing that they need to work on picking themselves up, on working on their own healing. I think like when it does cross their mind, there is this element of feeling as though that would be a wonderful thing to have happen. But with here and now, I get the feeling it's again this energy of surrender, of surrendering to what is, and not really necessarily mulling it over of how they can change the present moment. But let's go ahead and see what their next action towards you is going to be. Okay. What is Pile 2's person's next action toward Pile 2 going to be? Okay, we have the Hierophant, the Ace of Swords. What's their next action going to be? We have the Two of Pentacles. We have the Six of Swords. Why is the Hierophant here? Okay, we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. Why is the Ace of Swords here? We have the Three of Cups and the Nine of Wands. Why is the Two of Pentacles here? Okay, we have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Fool. And then on the back of the deck, we have the King of Cups. I think it's interesting that we have the Four of Pentacles coming out again, but this time it's reversed. This is telling me, especially with this Hierophant here, that I feel as though there is going to be contact again, especially with this Ace of Swords. I feel as though there is more that this person has to share with you. I feel as though they feel called to do something the right way, to do the right thing, to kind of set things straight, to bring about clarity, and perhaps even comfort with this Three of Cups. There could even be like an offer of friendship here with this Three of Cups and the Nine of Wands. But I sense that like what they intend on doing, what their greatest intention is to continue moving forward, to allow life to unfold. Although I think that they are coming into a balance here in the near future with the Two of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords, where perhaps they're recognizing that they don't necessarily have to be all logic, where they don't necessarily have to just completely cut you off. There's like a balance coming through here of mind and heart, but of doing the right thing, of doing the healthy thing. So I sense that there's like healthy boundaries here, but continuing to move forward. Somewhat away from, I would say, a romantic connection. But let's get some clarifiers. Okay. What is pile two's person's next move? We have never-ending story. We have peace. And we have come to the edge. And then on the back of the deck, we have breathe. Yeah. It feels like there's going to be contact of some kind. But there's also an acknowledgement here with never-ending story that something isn't quite right with how things have unfolded, and there needing to be a narrative shift. And the narrative shift that needs to happen is one in which the two of you find peace. And so I think that this person wants to come forward and offer that to you, have a peace offering of some kind, really wants to. But I sense with this come to the edge, it's the same imagery as this Fool card. I sense that they desire to kind of move forward, to move on, especially with the Six of Swords. And with breathe here, this is Hanged Man energy. This is Hermit energy. The Four of Swords. This is somebody who is finding peace, wanting balance, wanting stability. So yeah, when it comes to will you reconcile, I'm not necessarily sure if this person is going to be reaching out to have some sort of union with you again, at least a romantic one. I sense more so this person is wanting to reach out or is going to be reaching out in the near future, kind of to allow the two of you an opportunity to come to an understanding and heal. But let's go ahead and get some channeled messages. What does pile two's person want to say to pile two? I can't be apart from you much longer. I don't know what has happened between us. If you're confused, I'm confused too. I made the wrong turn, and honestly, the grass wasn't greener over there. And as more time passes by, I feel a deeper void without you in my life. Yeah, that void feeling is that empty feeling I was getting with the King of Wands and the Ten of Swords. There's definitely these cards are indicating somebody who misses you, but I also feel as though this is somebody who recognizes that perhaps right now things aren't meant to be as they were. But that's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and get you some advice before we end this reading. What advice is there for pile 2 when it comes to their connection? Nature. It's time to unleash your inner hippie and step outside of that man-made box. Take a walk in the woods. Smell those flowers. I think it's interesting that we have step out of the man-made box, and then when it comes to how they were remembering the connection, we had the box. So this could be genuinely encouraging you to step outside of the box you have created for this connection and where you're in it. But it says, take a walk in the woods. Smell those flowers. Hug some trees. You might think you're being ironic, like, look at me, I'm being all tree huggery and stuff. But you'll find that even then, those trees will hug you back. Trees come from a time before irony, and their earnestness is impervious to our jaded humor. If that doesn't make you want to hug them even more, well, I guess you're a robot. All right, pile 2. Well, this is what I'm seeing for you. I'm sorry if this wasn't what you wanted to hear. I also feel very strongly as though you deserve nothing but the best. That's just the truth. It's not even a feeling that I have to have. And I'm really rooting for you guys, pile 2. And please know I'm always wishing you guys the best. Bye. Hello, pile 3. So today's pick a card reading is asking whether or not the two of you will reconcile. And obviously, energy is always changing. Nothing is ever set in stone. So if there is a message here that doesn't feel like it's for you, or it's a message that doesn't sit right with you, please know that this isn't set in stone, and this also might not be a message for you. So please just take what resonates and leave the rest. And if you're not necessarily ready to hear anything besides what it is that you would like to hear, then perhaps now is not the time to watch this video. But either way, please don't let my YouTube video ruin your day. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. We are going to be looking into how your person remembers you, themselves, this connection. We'll get into how they're currently feeling about this separation and you. We'll get into what their thoughts and feelings are on the possibility of reconciling. And we'll also look into what their next action toward you is going to be. So to start, when it comes to how they are remembering this connection, we have the shadow and the tear. And when it comes to how they're remembering you, we have God. The light attribute is benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. And the shadow attributes are despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. We have peacock. And we have moose, and the key word for moose is release. We also have beggar. This is for how they're remembering themselves. The light attributes are confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. And the shadow attribute is dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. We have eagle. And we have trout, and the key word for trout is sparkle. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, pile 3, when it comes to how your person is remembering this connection, they're currently looking back at this connection from a place of mourning. There's definitely a feeling of loss here, a feeling of having something really, really special having been taken away from them, and needing to mourn that, needing to release the sadness that they're feeling. However, there's a very specific reason as to why they're mourning this connection, and it seems to be that there was some denial of some kind going on within this connection. There were some things that perhaps were in the connection always, but weren't necessarily acknowledged or seen for what they were. And I get the feeling that it's this person who was refusing to see things for what they were. When I look at this beggar image, I see an image of a person covering their eyes. And it's like they don't want to see the truth of what is going on. And the eagle is all about truth seeking. It's about understanding what the truth is, seeing things from a different perspective. And it seems like this person is remembering themselves as somebody who knew that something wasn't necessarily as it seemed, or who knew that something was being hidden or was being denied within themselves, and was actively seeking for an understanding within this connection of what was going on. It could be that they were denying themselves their own growth, their own feelings of self-esteem. It could be that this person was really focused so much on you and what it is that you were doing that they kind of forgot that they also have a lot to bring to the table. But they're remembering you as somebody who was incredibly beautiful with the peacock here. Very beautiful, handsome, attractive. And I think with the trout here, this is also a very beautiful energy, but I feel as though this may have been something that they overlooked, or perhaps that they felt as though you overlooked in this connection. It seems like they're just remembering you as somebody, they're remembering you in a very, very positive way. Somebody who was beautiful, somebody who was very compassionate. It may have been you who ended this connection with release here for the moose energy. And if that was the case, they're remembering you as somebody who did so with empathy and compassion toward them. But overall, they're remembering you as somebody who was beautiful on the inside and on the out. And perhaps there was like a level, this isn't going to resonate for all of you, but I think that for some of you, there may have been a betrayal of some kind on your end that perhaps they refused to see because they were so infatuated by you. I do think with the shadow here that there may have been an element of infatuation here between the two of you, in which the two of you were not seeing things clearly for what they were. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a betrayal that I'm seeing, but I do feel as though things were kind of blurred based on really, really strong feelings for one another at the time. So that's what I'm seeing for this. So if this has resonated for you, let's go ahead and look into how it is that they're currently feeling about this situation, about you. Okay. What is pile 3's person currently feeling? Okay, we have the Lovers and the Devil, that shadow card again. What is pile 3's person currently feeling for pile 3 and this connection? We have Temperance, and we have the 3 of Pentacles. Okay. Why is the Lovers here? We have the High Priestess. Why is the Devil here? The Knight of Pentacles. Why is Temperance here? We have the 9 of Pentacles. And why is the 3 of Pentacles here? We have Justice. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Moon. Okay, so how is your person currently feeling? Well, the shadow, like the darkness from that shadow card is still here with the Moon and the Devil, and even with the High Priestess, there's this element of like things not being exactly as they appear. I think intuitively this person understands that there is like a great deal of emotion here still. This person has not lost their feelings for you with this Lovers card. And intuitively, I get the feeling that they still feel very connected to you and feel as though energetically you two are still kind of tied together. But there is like a level of attachment here with this Devil card. And it doesn't necessarily seem to be something that is going to be breaking or coming to an end anytime soon with this Knight of Pentacles. It seems as though this attachment is very slow moving and can't be cut very quickly. But I do sense that this person wants wants healing for themselves as well as for this connection. With Temperance and the Nine of Pentacles, I sense that this person is really taking advantage of the time that they are spending alone in order to find balance within themselves, in order to really kind of change their circumstances or their environment in a certain way in their favor. But there's still a desire here with this Three of Pentacles and Justice. There's a desire for things to be worked on with you, to make things right. There is a desire for communication here. And it just feels like this person still feels like they're in the dark, or perhaps they left you in the dark. There's definitely confusion here. This person feels confused. They feel as though they've left you confused. And there's definitely a strong attachment here, which I would say is different than, I think that this person is recognizing that there is a level of unhealthiness to that, especially with that shadow card having come out. There's an understanding of this connection perhaps not being the healthiest or the best for the both of you and your well-being. But let's keep going. Let's get some clarification. How does pile 3's person currently feel about pile 3 and their situation? Okay, we have regeneration. How are they currently feeling? We have peace, and we have higher power. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have building blocks. Yeah, this person feels, with the tear having come out earlier, and now with regeneration, this person is acknowledging that a death has happened. This person is acknowledging that damage has happened to this connection, and now the only thing that they can do for themselves is to work on their own growth, work on their own peace. We have regeneration, peace, and building blocks. This person is really, really focused right now on their own healing and on kind of building themselves back up in whatever way they need to. But with higher power here, there's also an understanding that there's much more to this connection than perhaps the two of you are seeing currently. And intuitively, this person feels that. And I see it here with the moon too. There's a lot of intuition and a lot of like hidden messages that are going to be revealed in due time, is what this person feels when it comes to this separation. They feel as though right now what's going on is kind of meant to be. But let's go ahead and look into what their thoughts are on reconciling. Okay. How does pile 3's person feel about reconciling? We have the Two of Wands. How are they feeling about reconciling? We have the Page of Pentacles. How are they feeling about reconciling with pile 3? The Five of Pentacles. The Ten of Swords. Why is the Two of Wands here? Eight of Cups. Why is the Page of Pentacles here? We have the Seven of Swords. Why is the Five of Pentacles here? The Moon again. And why is the Ten of Swords here? Okay, we have the Knight of Swords. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so how's this person feeling about reconciling? I don't necessarily feel as though this person thinks that that would be a good idea at the moment. It seems like this person is wanting to walk away rather than make a decision on how to reconcile. Their thought is that like this might be something that's really overwhelming. I feel like they don't necessarily, there's just so much here indicating secrets or something hidden, and I feel as though they don't feel like trying to attempt to reconcile with you would end well for them. Or the truth being revealed might be something for them that would cause more harm to them or more hurt, or vice versa, than it would anything else. I don't think that this person necessarily feels as though they've really evolved or grown in the way in which they would like to, or matured in the way in which they would like to. And if they were to come forward right now, it would be kind of deceptive on their end, is kind of what I'm getting with the Seven of Swords. And so instead, they feel as though they should just allow this connection to kind of come to a close. But when it comes to what they're feeling, they have a desire to do it. It's just they recognize that it's not the best thing for them. Let's get some clarity. Okay, that did not work. How does pile 3's person feel about reconciling with pile 3? How do they feel about reconciling? How does pile 3's person feel about reconciling? We have not for you, yeah. And we have truth be told. And we have imagine. And then on the back of the deck we have breathe. This person feels as though, what I would say is that they don't necessarily feel like reconciliation is something that they would like. However, they have something that they would either like to get off their chest, or they feel as though something needs to be said on your end for them to have a better understanding. But either way, with not for you here and imagine and breathe, it seems like when it comes to the idea of reconciling, they would rather kind of put a pin in it and just call it done for the time being, and kind of move forward and work on their own piece. But let's see what their next action towards you is going to be. Okay. What is pile 3's person's next move towards pile 3? Okay, we have the King of Wands. What's their next move? What action are they going to take toward pile 3 next? Okay, we have the Four of Wands. We have the Eight of Wands. The Five of Wands. Why is the King of Wands here? Why is the King of Wands here? Okay, we have the Tower. Why is the Four of Wands here? We have the Nine of Cups. Why is the Eight of Wands here? Page of Pentacles. And why is the Five of Wands here? We have the Two of Wands. So many wands. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Swords. Yeah, this person is going to communicate with you. Their next move is to communicate with you. However, they're still in this Page of Pentacles energy. They're still in this like immature energy. And it might be because they feel as though they need to know the truth before they can continue on their evolution. But this person, I get the feeling with the King of Wands and the Tower that this person might have more information or a truth that they would like to share with you. I do sense that there's like a lot of passion here with so many wands. Like this could be an indication of somebody who is looking for like a passionate get-together of some kind. But it's all very fast-moving energy, and we still have the energy with the bottom of the deck energy being the Six of Swords of kind of moving on. But I do feel as though there's communication that this person is intending on having with you. Let's get a little bit more info. What have I missed? What's pile 3's next move? Pile 3's person's next move going to be? What's their next move going to be? We have chaos and conflict, by the book, and round. I kind of get the feeling that they have a bone to pick with you. And then we have go the distance. Yeah. It seems like this person has like an argument or like an unfinished argument of some kind, but I don't necessarily know if they're going to get anywhere with this argument. With round and round here, it might be that they feel as though a truth needs to come out and you don't really have anything for them. There's just this element of them needing, I would say almost closure, but it feels like they may be going about it the wrong way. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and get some channeled messages. What does pile 3's person want to say to pile 3? I am not ready to talk. I will only push you away. I feel like we both need to go our separate ways for a while. I love the way you make me feel, but I can't give you the same in return. Yes, and I feel like I've lost you and I'm not coping well with it. Okay. Well, actually, you know what? Let's get you some advice real quick. What advice is there for pile 3 when it comes to their connection? Sanctuary. Good for you. It seems like you've earned some time away from the chaos of life. It could be as small as a bubble bath or as big as a trip, or maybe it's a small trip to a big bubble bath, or a normal-sized trip to a tiny bubble bath, or maybe you tripped and fell into someone's bath. Whatever it is, it's waiting for you with open arms. Just pick your favorite sanctuary and unplug for a bit, especially if a bath is involved. All right, pile 3. Well, this is what I am seeing for you today. If this resonated, please let me know in the comment section if you feel so inclined. And please know that I'm always wishing you the best, pile 3, and you deserve all of the happiness. Bye.